Eugene, Springfield, Lane County, Oregon. Support our work. Make a donation at STRPOD.com. Thank you for listening to Spent the Rent podcast. And now, here's your host, Patty Rose.
Welcome to the Spent the Rent podcast. I'm your host, Patty Rose. My guest today is a local Eugene filmmaker, Rob Weaver. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, dude. It's really cool to have you. You're coming on today to talk about making short films, navigating the local film scene in Eugene, Oregon, and building projects on an indie budget. We met through Blake Leitner, the director of We Need Rent Money. You had a pretty decent role in that one. That was a feature-length film. Is that the only feature-length film you've done?
Yes.
You've done a lot of stuff with video. I know that you and your crew, which we're going to talk about a little bit, because I know that you're pretty connected. We met at the Hippie Museum, which is they did a after party there. That place was insane. So let's just kind of get into it. You know, we're going to be sharing a short film. What is the name of your short film?
It's called Mystifanol.
Okay, and then it's
Untamed Smart Drug.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that in a minute, and we're going to play a little trailer for it, and you've got a screening coming up and ways that people can download it and all that cool stuff. So first I want to talk about what first drew you into the local independent creative and film community right here in Eugene.
You know, it started about, in 2018, 2017, somewhere around there. I met Blake on the internet on a networking group for filmmakers. And so then there was some other people along the way, Rick Gates, Mike Schwab.
Matthew Hewlett, I think, had a big deal with some of the filmmaking.
Yes, Matthew Hewlett is also a big name in town. He does a lot of work in South area, like in Creswell.
And Cottage Grove, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Cottage Grove. CG.
Yep.
Shout out CG.
I know he does a lot of really high quality video. And we're going to talk a little bit later about the quality when you do on a local budget, on an indie budget, because some of these cameras can just be insanely expensive. I know it's gotten a lot easier, and people are like, you can just make a video with your iPhone. I'm like, you can, but if you're trying to make a film, it's got to look a certain level, and that's kind of what I was impressed with the trailer that you had sent, and we'll share that in a second. Who do you typically source? How do you typically source reliable local talent for your crew and cast members? And how do you do that when you're starting a new project?
We started. I started a Facebook group with 4 people who are very credible filmmakers in town, to Emmy winners. We started a group called Lane County Filmmakers. And so there's about almost 1,000 people in that group. And we also started another group, Lane County Film Actors. And so we wanted to develop a platform that was accessible to anybody who needed resources, talent, a number of cameras, anybody with that had the job title.
Kind of the know-how and the time and the follow through. I mean, it's a lot of it's about punctuality, because when you do these projects, when you don't show up, it like literally it's just average people that are not getting paid a lot of times. So
unfortunately, the passion, I feel like, kind of takes over that.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot to be said for that when you all put a lot of effort into it because you love it. And, a lot of times it's an opportunity for amateur people to be able to get an experience that is going to look, glossy on the screen, so it's pretty cool. The first project we talked about today was We Need Rent Money. Shout out to Blake Leitner, director of that. That movie is available on like Tubi and a bunch of different places. I think it's even on Amazon Prime. I'm not positive now. So
it's on a number of platforms.
I went and saw the premiere, and it's kind of like a Cheech and Chong style. Shout out to Samson, the main character in that one. And if you are from Eugene and you like kind of stoner comedies, definitely look up the movie We Need Rent Money. Talk about your work on We Need Rent Money. Did you play a cop? Is that what you were in that one?
Yes. Yeah, I played an undercover cop.
Oh shit! I hope I didn't just like spill your identity on that one. No,
that's all right. That's all right.
Anyway, yeah, it's a really fun movie, and there was a lot of people involved with it, and it's chaotic, and it was good. The presentation was really cool. One of the things I noticed, and I hope Blake's not gonna jump my shit for saying this, because when you do a film, you can, and you're releasing it, you can learn after screenings. Oh shit, I got to fix the audio, because you've got to use all these different setups, for a local film. So when we were at the premiere, I think it was downtown in Springfield. The audio in the venue was like mixed. You know, some of it was like, whoa, some of it was really loud. Some of
yeah, you heard some feedback
and so it's just really tough because how are you supposed to mix all these different settings? And with sometimes you're not even using a boom mic. Some of it's overdubbed after the fact and things like that. And so we'll talk about the logistics of like the quality of filmmaking independently. But man, it's tough. He did a great job. I don't want to like misrepresent, but he did a great job on it. But I just know that, you know, people think that when a movie's done, it's done. I know that Scorsese, even at the top, he's constantly re-editing movies. So if you buy a DVD after a certain date, it's not going to be the same representation of the original film. It's kind of funny. A lot of people don't realize that they're always constantly updating it.
Even The Godfather has, you know, some continuity to it.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they keep stuff, but they like, you know, they keep it intact so that it keeps with the times, and all the best know that.
You know,
so,
I feel like it's its own trademark. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like it's its own signature.
So now, how does working on those kind of grassroots local projects, especially something like a feature length, like we need rent money, how does that prepare you? Because this is your first individual. You directed this, you made this project. It's a short film. How long is it for one?
It's about 15 minutes.
Yeah. And I think that's the right place to start. I want to give a shout out to 531 Productions, Henry Weintraub. My brother, he's passed away now, but he was one of the main actors in that crew. And they started with short films, and one of their short films got purchased. It was called Mind Slime, and it got purchased by, oh gosh, what is his name? Lloyd Kaufman, who made Toxic Avenger. And their movies got really, really cool. Like after that, you know, they did a bunch of different projects, and they did a couple feature lengths, and it's an undertaking.
That movie is those movies are underrated.
Oh yeah,
extremely.
He's in it. I mean, my brother was just giddy. He was in scenes with, you know, because they're B movie fanatics, and so and my brother worked for 19 years at Hollywood Video, and so he was a film buff, and so he's in a scene with Lloyd Kaufman. But I want to give I've been talking too much. I want to give
Facts.
I want to give you a chance to talk about your project,
bro. No, those are good story, man.
Yeah, no, it was. I've got some.
Come on,
I've got a couple of my songs.
You made it this far. You might as well share one highlight.
I've got a couple songs that are in a couple of Henry Weintraub's movies. So yeah, go to 531productions.com and you can check out a lot of local. That's another kind of predated your guys' crew. You know, where it was like in hip hop, we saw this. Like I was in a crew, and then we had the next generation was like Sammy Wormhands and KI Design, and they pretty much still own it. The crown of Eugene as far as the hip hop crew. So now let's talk about your project. You tell us the name again for the short film.
Yeah, the film is called Mystifinal. It's a dark comedy, action comedy. It's about 15 minutes. It's a short series. It's been what can I say about this?
Yeah, honestly, sure. So you want to know about the concept, the original scope, and then the inspiration behind the project.
Ooh, man, that is a good question. The inspiration behind the project. Well, I lived a crazy life before I moved here to Oregon. I worked as a merchant mariner.
Okay.
I did that.
Is that like that's a baseball player?
Close. It's not the Seattle Mariners. I was in the Merchant Marine Division.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Through the Gulf of Mexico, stationed at Port Fourchon. But no, I worked under the Coast Guard and Homeland Security. So we're an entity in between.
Nice.
That.
Nice.
Is third party military.
It's military. Yeah.
Yeah. Third party.
What do you mean by that? How does that work?
Basically, to get your license, you have to apply at the Coast Guard, fill out an application, and then you fill out another one for Homeland Security. So you're basically like a civilian working for the government.
Oh, cool. So then how did that kind of inspire this project?
So in other words, that inspired the project because I would work long shift hours, sometimes 1 to 2 days.
Yeah.
I would travel. It would take me sometimes 2 hours to get to work. And after work, usually they'll put us on a crew boat or a helicopter because sometimes our ship would be offshore. And so we'd show up for crew change. And either I was up that whole day and either I had to start my watch, which means I had to work another 12 hours. And so I looked into some prescription drugs for jet fighter pilots. I'm like, hey, I want to be just like these guys so I can go hard for 24 hours. And so after 4 hours, if you're hard, you have to actually contact your doctor, but that's a different drug. I do want to say, I don't want to get political. I do a lot of political stuff on the show, but I mean, you talk about 2 days, right? On the Abraham Lincoln
aircraft carrier right now. They're out right outside of Iran, and they've been on there for over 250 days. And anybody that's unaware of that story needs to look that up. I mean, 2 days. You're talking about how hard that was. 250 days in the Navy that these people have been on this carrier, and so fuck Donald Trump.
And they're not getting fed.
No.
That's right. They're not getting any food.
So back to the project. I don't want to get sidetracked, but yes, there's just a lot of unsettling things happening in our world, and shout out to the people that serve our country, and that's especially even at the third party level, like you had talked about. Anybody that kind of is connected to it, there's a lot of appreciation from my heart, and I just want to make sure that they get acknowledged. So
thank you, man. Yeah, we are ships of war, if it ever were to be that case. I've got really lucky, being in that trade for as long as I have, 15 years, served the Gulf of Mexico, experienced the Deepwater Horizon, and so you were saying, it's not to cut you out, but you were saying that like the experimental drug. I feel like I haven't seen the full movie. I've only seen the trailer. That's where the influence came from. But it does feel like there's a little bit of Limitless in it as well. Like I don't know if you got those vibes too. Well, I've only seen the trailer, and that's the only thing. The first thing I think of. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Limitless, listening or watching, but Bradley Cooper. And he basically takes this drug that I'm sure that like we don't, a civilian level, we probably don't even know some of the things that do exist, and I think that that's a big part of it. I mean, sure, we can get poppers, we can get some. I can get some ludes, simple, just Adderall is good enough. Small dose. And at dispensaries nowadays, it's getting pretty intense. They're like, do you want sativa? Do you want indica? Do you want flop? I don't even know what that is, but anyway, flop. So tell me about the concept. You said it's an experimental drug. You hit the nail right on the head, I must say. It is pretty spot on. The Limitless is there. That influence is there. And the passion kind of took over. So I wanted to do an experiment to see how long I could push myself for over 24 hours doing this kind of work. What do you mean by how long did you work on the project? I mean, it was a lot longer. So what do you mean by that? 24 hours in what? I just kind of wanted the story kind of came from that influence. Oh, so it's done on a 24, like the show 24, where it's done. So it's 15 minutes of time in the movie. Not so much that, not so much that, but I wanted to explain a story on how a pharmaceutical drug can either be bullshit or just keep the person guessing. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think that we've all looked into SSRs and stuff. And I talked to my doctor one time and said, is all this just kind of bullshit? And he goes, what do you think? And I stopped taking it after that. But that's even scary for a doctor to say. I couldn't believe it.
What do you think?
What do you think? What do you think?
What do
I'm
you
like, well,
think,
I'm not the one with
Graves?
the medical degree. I mean, I don't know, So now let's talk before we show the trailer. Let's talk about, what it looks like to have a smaller crew. How many people were in the movie on cast and on crew? Man. I think you had told me off air 30. Is that correct? Yeah, about I want to say almost 40 now. Wow. And so how does that work? I mean, well, basically it's like in time as a filmmaker, you just become a team builder. Yeah. And so that's the secret, honestly, is team building. Sure. And then, you're basically the head coach as the director. And then sometimes you'll have your lead actor that's your Michael Jordan or whatnot. But tell me about, I know that with 40 people, you're not gonna be able to drop every name, but tell me about some of the major players on this project so we can make sure that they get some recognition. Oh man, 100%. The major players, first name I would probably bring up is Rick Gates, Mike Schwab, Miles Dixon, David D'Arienzo, Daniel Martinez, Jeff Johnston. Yeah, see, Mike Schwab, I'm familiar with. He's one of the main people in the film scene in Eugene that I think he puts on his own festival. I don't think he would like me to say it's his own. I think he's somebody that's very generous. I would probably say it's his own thing. I know it is, but I think that his name's Marathon Mike now. Yeah, because he's always running marathons. But my point is, I think he's very much about community, and I think that he very much so wants to give back to somebody and give him an opportunity. So it is a project that his love child, I'm sure, him and my brother were pretty good friends too. And Mike was a big part of the 531 production stuff that I talked about earlier. But keep going. That is awesome. Yeah. See, I didn't even know that. I actually made a short film. I was joking around when we talked about this, and I just zoomed in on my TV and I filmed this woman that was from like Australia. It was terrible. Anyway, we won't even get actually that was comedy. It was hilarious. Like, I made a short film. All you got to do to be a filmmaker is just zoom in on your TV. That's it. So tell me a little bit more, some name drops of some of the people in the project.
Oh man, you know what? I'm just so thankful, man. I'm so thankful for the people that I've kind of met along this journey to help me with this project. The names that I gave out, I would say like, yeah, those guys are all experts in their own way.
Yeah.
Some of them are really good at camera work. Some of them are good at audio.
Yeah.
If you want some good advice from those people, I'd vouch for them 100%.
I mean, for you to be working on your first solo project, at least as the leader, with Mike Schaub is a huge deal. So that's cool. Let's go ahead and get into playing the trailer. You know, I'm gonna play the trailer and then we can talk a little bit about it. So here's the trailer.
I think that was from another X-rated film. Wrong film.
I'm struggling, man. I need some help.
Here's something.
The new drug.
Check this out. Mustifinol.
Can you please stop? I mean, because this stuff is probably not that good.
Some are calling it Viagra for the brain, while others are calling it a weaponized, bioengineered supplement.
Weird drugs tend to lower your chances of getting a job, man.
Does it really work? And what are the risks?
It's a smart pill. It's to improve mental focus and concentration. There's even evidence it makes you smarter over time.
Man, we got to start this shit today.
Awesome. So tell me where that people are going to be able to screen this. I know that you're going to have a screening here soon. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, we're gonna have its first screening at the Art House.
Where's that at?
The Art House is the old Bijou building.
Okay.
It's right off of 13th Street.
Yeah.
Right across right by Max's Tavern.
Yeah.
Right next door, down the block, down the sidewalk.
Yeah, Bijou Theater, the original. I know that there's the Metro and Bijou Theater were together at one point, but the Bijou is no longer. That's sad. That is an old long stand. And for people that don't know what that is, I mean, that is it's just called the Art House now. Is that?
Yeah.
See, I'm so out of the loop.
Same building. It's just they just call it the Art House now.
Yeah, that was a place that I used to be in a project called Hot Sack, which was a sketch comedy show with Bill Dyball, and he did some of the clips from his sketch comedy show I was a part of, and it was a short film festival. I'm sure Mike was involved with that one as well. And dude, Billy is hilarious, and so yeah, none of that's really online because we had kind of this DIY style and we did a lot of kind of like repurposing old clips from VHS, you know, and stuff like that. So stuff that was copywritten issues and things like that. But it was a lot of fun.
What stuff have you not done?
I've never been I've done that. I've done it all. I've done it.
Stand-up comedy.
I'm actually stand-up comedy is not something that I've ever actually done well. I've gone on an open mic night and I didn't realize that you had to actually prepare jokes.
Yeah.
And I used to drink too much. So I am starting. That's something that I've been working on. A lot of people listening know that it's something I've struggled for this last year a little bit with some health issues and things. And so I'm really starting to find my footing again. But let's get back to talking about you. This is about you. So, you know, this project is huge. This is your first one.
First film.
I wanted to talk some of the challenges that you ran into with, scheduling and dealing with a big crew. We mentioned it before, but talk about what the logistics. Did you guys have like a band where it was like, we're going to work on Wednesday nights, or how did you guys go about it?
It's pretty much like a band, just like a rock band. Folks.
Yeah. Like GWAR. You guys wore masks when you guys were doing your readings, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just to conceal,
No, for real though. I mean, with how many people on each scene would you have to make sure that we're present, you know?
Well, luckily for us, it was just a buddy movie, so it's only just 2 characters along with others along the way. I don't even know where to begin, to be honest. I got like at least 50 people on this project.
That's wild. So you do
About
have
20.
There's 2 main people.
20. Yeah, there's some in Portland. There's some here, and yeah, logistics is never easy, especially if you're doing the directing, the lead acting, the recruiting.
Yeah, wow.
The
a lot of
casting.
people that like the local vibe, people that maybe don't really know a ton about the local film scene, but when they watch it, they like to kind of pinpoint some of the locations. So where are some of the kind of key locations that you utilized in Eugene and Portland?
A lot were here.
Yeah.
We did a shoot in Creswell.
Yeah.
At it was an old gutter service building. It was huge.
Yeah.
It was a nice warehouse. We scored that one. We did a shoot also outside of Veneta, outside of Eugene, by the dam, by the lake.
That's cool.
And we did a backdrop of the E-Web steam plant in that area as a last second effect that worked out really beautifully. And then we shot at other areas downtown, mainly at my house, and then a newer house that we're able to get.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, looking at the actual rollout of this, promotions, that kind of stuff. I know this is, you're doing this podcast. This is kind of the first little media that you're doing for this project. And let's tell the people listening again where they can go to the first screening. And then go ahead and say that first.
Yeah, you guys could check out my first screening. It's going to be at the Art House September 3rd. So it's going to be a week and a half on a Thursday night. The show starts at 7. We're going to have 2 shows probably. We're going to have a 7 o'clock and an 8 o'clock. So please get your guys' tickets as soon as you can. You can find them at thearthouse.com. And then you go on the search bar at the website and just type in Mystifinal, or just type in MAST for starts. Hit enter. You'll find my page. You'll find the film.
MAST.
Yeah.
And it'll pop.
Just Mast. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
then
then
see our funny faces on there, me and Mike's.
I'm sure that down the road, for the people that missed the screening, which, that really try to do this, try to get to it. But for the people that don't, do you plan on at some point just kind of uploading it to YouTube?
Actually, we're gonna go the film festival route.
Nice.
Because of how
much work you put into it.
Yeah, we put some time into it.
What is your YouTube channel though? Is it an easy URL for people to find?
It's that Rob Weaver.
That Rob Weaver.
You could find me on Instagram also with the same name.
Perfect.
YouTube, I think it's the same name.
Yeah.
Facebook, Rob Weaver.
And for somebody listening that wants to learn more about local film and how to get involved, where do you think that is a good place for them to go?
Go on Facebook. Just go on Lane County Filmmakers.
Yeah.
And join the group. If you're an actor, if you're a writer, you could also join that group too, and you could get answers from people who are willing to help, who are willing to connect. I
love getting involved with this kind of stuff because some of the people that I followed were some of the actors that were in We Need Rent Money, for one. I had made a relationship with Matthew Hewlett as far as, we became pretty good friends, and then with Blake as well. But then I think his name is Ben, one of the guy with a big beard. Maybe it's not Ben, but like I follow his work.
Let's say that's Matthew, I think.
Well,
big beard.
Some of them just have him. I know that he's a Jewish kid. That he's an actor locally, and then he was a really big part of the movie. He's one of the main characters. I can't remember his name.
Julian?
No. Anyway, that guy, I follow his stuff. And
Ben Levy.
Yes. He's
Love that guy. He's in Jerusalem, I think.
Is he? So he's a really cool dude, and he worked on the We Need Rent Money, and I started following him, and so it's been really neat to see how you guys have kind of branched off in the next projects that you've done.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not going to be able to remember, it's been quite a while, but the other guy that was the main character, because there's really 3 main characters. There's Samson, and then there's Ben guy, and then it starts with an M.
Malachi.
Yes. And so those 3 guys were just phenomenal. He was excellent in We Need Rent Money. Again, if you're listening or watching this, go check out We Need Rent Money. It was a great movie. You had great, I'd say, cameo. It's a smaller role, but you definitely you have a presence on screen, so for sure. Rob Weaver, thank you so much for being here. This is really a good treat, and I hope you listening will go and check out the film at the Art House.
Please check out my film.
Awesome.
Mystifinal.
Thank you so much.
Much love, Eugene.
Eugene, Springfield,